members of Pan-African Women Project Team, and other INEC accredited observer groups here, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Please be advised that this is an interim report. A detailed report will be submitted to INEC. Preamble. The 2023 general elections will have regional implications for West Africa. As successful elections within Nigeria can provide a positive electoral template in the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS region. Since 2020, the West African region has faced democratic backsliding, with the ECOWAS governments of Mali, Guinea, and Burkina Faso toppled by military juntas. A successful election in Nigeria could counter negative perceptions of governance within the region. Successful elections in Nigeria will also set a positive example for the continent, given they will be the first and largest African elections in 2023. The Nigerian general elections is very important to the entire continent of Africa, as the outcome of every election held in Nigeria contributes positively and negatively to the social economic development in the continent. The lessons learned in this election will translate to the peace of the nations in Africa. Organization. Pan-African Women Project is an international non-governmental organization of African women from the 54 nations of Africa and the diaspora. Our head office is situated in Johannesburg, South Africa, and regional offices in the 5 regions, including Nigeria as the hub for West Africa. Our primary mission, amongst others, is to promote good governance and sustainable democracy in Africa through our developmental projects for women, youth, and persons with disabilities in Africa. Introduction. Pan-African Women Project is one of the foreign observer missions accredited by Independent Electoral Commission, which is INEC, for the 2023 Nigeria general elections. We have observed several elections in about 17 countries of Africa, including Nigeria in the past. We have a mission team comprising many women from various African nations that are already deployed to various states of Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory for election and observation. Regrettably, many are not here for this briefing, as at this moment for logistic reasons, since they have been deployed already to their various areas of assignment. Preparation. As African women, we are keenly interested in ensuring a credible, successful 2023 Nigeria general election, more especially because of the good relevance and the place of Nigeria in the leadership of Africa and its people. It is a common knowledge that a good leadership and strong, sustainable democracy in Nigeria will ensure good leadership for Africa as a whole, hence our observation mission. Number 1. In 2021, we carried out voters' registration drive throughout the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, with 1 state each in every of the geopolitical zones of Nigeria. This, from our studies, yielded incredible good results, as we used the opportunity to assert voters' apathy, which was more of the cases among the citizens in various zones. Number 2. Also, in 2022, we carried out PVC collection drive in 2 states each of the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, with Akwa Ibom and River states, respectively for South-South zone, Ebonyi and Owerri states, respectively for the Southeast zone, Kano and Sokoto states, respectively for the Northwest zone, Adamawa and Bauchi states, respectively for the Northeast, and also Oyo and Lagos states, respectively for the Southwest. This also was a huge success, as we observed great zeal and desire of Nigerians to participate in the 2023 general elections. All this we did in partnership with the Independent National Electoral Commission, which is INEC, of Nigeria, especially the Gender and Inclusivity Department. At this point, we want to sincerely and greatly appreciate the leadership of the Independent National Electoral Commission of the Nigeria, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, and the entire department of the Commission, especially the gender and inclusivity, for the unwavering support that made our work very easy. We also appreciate the various security agencies that worked tirelessly to ensure our safety by providing all the intelligence and protection needed to carry out our wondrous duties. We are most grateful to the gentlemen and ladies of the press for their immeasurable contributions to deployment of personnel. We had recruited about 380 non-partisan Nigerians as short-term observers and 20 long-term observers across the 36 states of Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory. In Abia State, we have 4 long-term observers who have been working tirelessly for 4 weeks now, and 170 short-term observers trained and deployed to the 17 local government areas. Arrival of materials. Materials arrived many polling units across the local government areas early between the hours of 7:30 a.m. and 9 a.m. This exercise was smooth and highly professional by the electoral body as compared to our experience in the presidential elections. Turnout of voters. Generally, across the state, turnout was very poor. Outside the polling units where candidates voted and the other polling units we visited had a low voter participation as compared to previous elections. Low voter turnout has been witnessed across Nigeria as 28 states conduct their 2023 governorship and state House of Assembly elections. Exactly 3 weeks ago, Nigerians went to the polls to elect their presidents, senators, and House of Representative members. Out of the total of 93.47 million registered voters, only 24.9 million persons, representing 26.72%, voted in the February 25th presidential and National Assembly elections. Several reasons have been cited for the poor voter turnout being experienced. We observed through our several interactions and voter that the postponement of the election by a week dampened the spirit of the electorate. It would have been a different case if the elections followed the presidential election straight up. Also, INEC's performance at the presidential elections, especially as the results were seen not to be transmitted to the IREF across the state, had altered people's trust in the electoral system. Noting that with a poor perception of INEC's credibility, citizens now doubted that their votes would not count. Security. Many polling units we observed in this election had no security personnel on duty, which was very unprofessional of the security agencies, despite the assurances that the security agencies repeatedly gave to the electoral body and the government and citizens regarding the safety and the peace during the elections. Logistics. The Electoral Commission would have to look for an alternative to road transport workers in the movement of the election materials and personnel. Continuous reliance on the old method of deploying personnel and materials to the polling units is no longer effective and causes a serious delay in the process. I suggest that it would be great if in future, if INEC could consider using drones to deploy some key materials to centers and allow presiding officers stroke assistant presiding officers to head straight to their respective centers ahead of time to commence accreditation on time. INEC should look beyond road transport workers for transport services, as they are usually and often manipulated by corrupt politicians to sabotage the effort of INEC. The fact that the most of them are not well lettered also underlines why they are easily influenced and bought over. INEC ad hoc staff. The Commission should look into the quality of the personnel they send out to the field for election duty, as young and hungry NYSC members are easily induced by corrupt politicians and party people. We suggest that disciplined religious bodies and organizations with a pedigree like priests, reverend sisters, pastors, Islamic scholars, lawyers, and directors of the federal and state ministries, as well as NGOs, who would not be able to compromise their position and retirement benefits, should be considered over young, fragile corps members. technology. The BVAS is one of the landmark introductions by INEC into the election process in Nigeria, but it is without its own shortfalls. The BVAS should be upgraded to include electronic voting, where accreditation and voting are processed from the same device. This will greatly cut down on paper production and eliminate ballot papers and significantly reduce the huge budget line of INEC during elections. At this election, we observed improvement in the functionality of the BVAS. About 79% of results were transmitted to the IRF at this election. Vote buying and lobbying. There was serious vote buying and influencing of voters' choice during the governorship election by party members at some of the polling units. They cohesively caused people to vote for their party at the voting booth. Violence through intimidation. The governorship State House of Assembly elections had pockets of violence and intimidation observed in the three senatorial zones of Abia State, perpetuated across party lines. Summary. We use this medium to appreciate the Independent National Electoral Commission, which is INEC, for the opportunity to serve in this election as one of the accredited foreign observer group. The 18th March 2023 governorship election and State House of Assembly elections in Abia State meets international commendations of a free, transparent, and peaceful conduct electoral process. We commend the brevity and integrity of the INEC returning officer in the state, Professor Mrs. Nena Oti, Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Technology, Futu, Oweri, for her role in ensuring that the people's votes and mandate counted. We recommend to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to engage more women of proven integrity, such as Professor Mrs. Nena Oti, as returning officers for further elections. We recommend to the electoral body to increase the duration of the training of his ad hoc staff before every election to enable them to gather adequate knowledge, especially in the use of the new technology. It is important also that the electoral body redress the gray areas that have questioned and credibility of the electoral body and 2023 general elections urgently and return back to the commission the immediate past director ICT, whose brainchild is the BVAS technology, to effect necessary upgrades and protocols that will enhance the performance of the BVAS in subsequent elections, making the electoral process more transparent. We recommend that the security agencies address all security lapses in 2023 elections and employ more personnel into the system to improve on a more effective security network during elections in Nigeria. That's all from me, Ms. Bonke Najila, spokesperson.